All right. So now when our register view model, login view model, and this functionality is working, now let's go inside. And first thing we'll do, we'll work on add post page so that we can create a new post which we can then pull on our home page. All right. So in our view models, I'm going to create a new view model. Let's say save post view model, and this is going to be public partial class, and it is going to be derived from base view model. All right. Now in here we need what we need. If we check our page, let me, okay, we have created this save post view model. Let's first add this to di container, builder dot services dot add transient save post view model dot add transient for our page, save post page, and I think it is add post page, right? Yes. All right. Now we'll close all other tabs and we'll open our page. Where is this add post page? Let's add the inject it in our add post page constructor. So save post view model, save post view model, and then we are going to set binding context for this save post view model. Now we are good with XAML and CS. All right. On this XAML, if we see, we first have user information. This will work on later. Then we have this start typing. So main thing for content. Then we have image. This is button and this is the image which we will have. All right. Then we have these two buttons. All right. So we need to have our content and our photo. So what we can do actually, private, let's say string underscore content. This is going to be observable property. Then we are going to have a private, and let's have string only for the photo as well. Okay. So we'll say private string and we can say photo path observable property, same thing. All right. And both are these going to be null, or we can have simple empty string as default value. So string dot empty, string dot empty. All right. Now we are going to have a method or a one command. So private async task will say save post async. Right now we are working on creating a new post. Then later we'll modify this to also handle the edit an existing post functionality. All right. So save post async in this. This is going to be a relay command. Then first thing inside we are going to check if we have one of these. For this we'll say if string dot is null or white space content and string dot is the null or white space photo path. If both of these are null or empty, then we'll say await post async either content or photo is required. Okay. So one of these should be provided and then we'll simply return from here. All right. Now make API call. We'll say await make API call async. Now we need to see, but before that, let's work on the image part. Okay, let's try to bind these things, content and photo path. So for this, first thing I'm going to add my namespace xmlns equals view models, then x data type. This is going to be save post view model. Then we have this editor. So we'll say text binding content. Now for this image, here we need to show the photo path if we have provided, and if we have not provided any path, this border should not be here, right? Or not this border, this entire grid should not be here, because if we have not selected any photo, then there is no point of having it. So on this grid only, what we can do, we can use data triggers on this. So we'll say grid dot triggers, and here we'll say data trigger, and target type is going to be this grid only, grid. And binding, we want to bind it with our binding photo path, and we can't access it. Why? Oh, I did something wrong. All right, photo path. And if the value is blank, so we'll leave it like this. If the value is blank, the photo path value is blank, then what should happen? This grid should be hidden. So we'll say setter property is visible, and the value should be false in this case. Save it. So now what we are saying, that for this grid, we are having this data trigger, we are binding this with photo path. So whenever photo path's value is changing, it will check it. First it will come, it will check if photo path's value is blank. It is going to set this thing is visible property on this grid to false. So it will be hidden. And when we have some photo path value, then it will simply come here and it will remove this setter. That means the default is visible value will be true, and we will be able to see this. Alright. Photo path is the one which we are adding to this image. So instead of this bird1.jpg hard coded thing, we'll say binding to path. Alright. Now when we are going to get it, we are going to get this thing from this choose photo. Where is that choose photo or add photo? What was that? Photo.png text add photo. This one. Okay, now here also we are going to change this labels text. If we don't have image edit, then we'll display add photo. If we already have image, then we'll say change photo. So for this also we can use the same data trigger. So label dot triggers data trigger, target type is going to be this label. Binding, we'll use binding photo path, the value blank. Okay, and for this we'll set setter property text and the value. If photo path is blank, then we'll say add photo. If that's not the case, the default text will say change photo. Okay, now when we are clicking on this horizontal stack layout, then we need to do something, or we can use this border. So on this border, we'll say border dot gesture recognizers, tab gesture recognizer. We are going to have a command here. That command should be for selecting a photo. So we'll go to back to our view model, and here we are going to create a command. Private async task. Let's say select photo command. select photo async like this. This is going to be a relay command. Save it, go back, and here in this command we can say binding, and we can call this select photo command here. And let's create one more command for removing this photo. So we'll say private async task remove photo, and this is also going to be relay command. And here we are going to set photo path to blank string. We are not setting it to null because in our XAML we are actually adding data triggers on the basis of blank value. That's why we are having this blank. Now let's use this. No need to have it as async task. It can be simple. Right. Okay, remove photo. So we have a button where we have our photo image display. There only we have the trash icon, this one, which is going to remove the image. So on this border, we are going to add gesture recognizer, border.gesture recognizer, tab gesture recognizer. We are going to add our command binding, and this is going to be remove photo command. Save it. Okay. Now in save post async. Let's simply display an alert here for now. So we'll say shell.current.display alert, title, success, message, going to save, and okay. And then we are just going to return. We'll work on this API call after some time, but right now I'm just trying to see if we can get all these things working. All right. Save post async. So on this XAML, we are going to call that command from our post method. So command binding save post command. Now we'll save everything and let's try to run our app. We are here, get started, and again we need to log in. So we need to work on this thing as well. What was the temp1 at gmail.com? Password was 123456 and login. We are on home page. Let's go to the create post. Here we can see add photo and this. We'll click on it. Nothing will happen because we have not added anything. Let's click on post. We can see the message. That means at least this thing is working. And now we don't have image by default and it says add photo. That means this thing is also visually working. We don't have this add photo functionality right now. Let's quickly work on this. So we have this select photo async. Now here when we are going to add a photo, we can have two options for this. Okay, so first we can pick the photo from device, or we can directly capture a photo using device's camera. Okay, so for this we are going to check if we have the default, or not default, we have permission to capture or select photo. For this we are going to say media picker dot default dot we have is capture supported. Okay, then here we are going to show user an option to select this media or this photo from both of those options. So here we can say await shell.current.display action sheet. We are going to display multiple options to you. So display action sheet. Here we have first title. So we can say just choose photo. Then cancel. just cancel. Then destruction action, we can leave it. Then params string array button. Whatever options we want to have, we can have this here. Here I'm going to have these options. I'll say const string pick from device, because I'm going to use it 2 times, that's why I'm doing this. Pick from device, we'll say pick from device. And I'm going to have one more. Here we'll say just capture photo. Capture photo. Now I'm going to add these options here. So pick from device and capture photo. Okay. Now if you see, this gives us task of string. That means whatever option we have selected from here, it is going to give that option back to us. Okay. So here we can say var response equals, or we can say var result equals. Then we'll simply check if string dot is null or white space result. That means user must have cancelled. Okay, must have cancelled it. So if that's the case, we'll simply return, we will not do anything. If that is not the case, then what we are going to do, we are going to add a switch on this result. Here we are going to handle both of these cases. Pick from device. If that is the case, we'll do something. Then we are going to have the second case. We'll say capture photo. If that's the case, we'll do something. If, and then we are good. For both of these options, let's create helper methods here. So for picking from device, I'm going to create a method here, async task pick from device async. And then I'm going to create one more method here. I'll say async task capture photo async, like this. All right. Now when we are picking from device, so for this case, we are going to say await pick from device async. And for capture photo, we'll say await capture photo async. Now we just need to provide body for these two methods. All right. So for pick from device, we have media picker class, media picker dot default dot. We have these options. So pick video async, pick photo async, because we are working with photo. So we'll use pick photo async. Okay. Inside this, we have media picker options. We are not going to use it, but if you want to, you can simply create this media picker options. It just gives us this title, which will be displayed on the UI when user is trying to pick a photo. Just select photo, that's all. Okay, now if you see, this gives us, oh wait, this gives us task of file result. So it is going to give us a nullable file result. Okay. Here we can say file result, nullable file result. We'll say file result equals, then we can check if file result is null, we don't need to do anything. Or maybe we can simply show a toast message here. We'll say await toast async. Here we can say no photo selected, like this. And we'll simply return, we will not do anything further. Now if that's not the case, this file result actually gives us full path of the picked file. So we have this full path. Now what we need to do with this full path, we want to set it to this photo path so that it can be displayed on our UI. Okay. So here we'll say photo path equals this file result dot full path. Okay. Now for capture photo, here we have media picker dot default dot capture photo and capture video async methods. So we have capture photo async. We are going to use this one. Same thing. So here also we can set the new media picker options. It will just have title. Here we can say just take photo, and this is the same thing. So we'll have file result like this only. File result, this thing. What happened? So await. Alright. And same thing we can do inside this as no photo captured. Here we can say this. That's not the case. We have photo path selected. Whatever we got, we are going to set it. And with this, our select photo async method is ready. But now here, if you see, we are trying to access some device specific thing, device feature, capture, storage, media, capturing the photo, camera, all these things. So we need to set couple of permissions for this. So let's see what all permissions we need to set here. We'll say .NET MAUI media picker, media picker. Here we'll see on Android the camera permission is required. For this, needed for picking photo and video, we can add these in main application.cs or we can add on the Android manifest. So for this one, I'm going to use this code one. This I like. So needed for picking photo video, we have these things. Let's copy these. Needed for taking photo and video, add these properties if you would like to filter out devices that do not have cameras or set to false to make them up. I think we are good with initially, but you can play around with these things. So for taking the photo video and picking the photo video, we are going to have these things. So let's copy these. Go to the Visual Studio platforms. I'll stop this project platforms, Android, and main application. Okay. Here we are going to add this on the very top. Read external storage, read media audio, read media images, read media video. So video we don't need, audio we don't need. Images we need, so we'll have this. After this we have camera and write external storage, so we'll use these two things. Okay, now let's check for iOS. iOS Mac Catalyst. So for iOS, we need to add these things: NS camera, user description, microphone, photo library, photo library. Let's copy all. And that code is here. If you see, taking a photo, media picker default is capture supported, file result. You can do all these things. All right. So we need to add these in iOS info.plist. Let's go to our project platforms iOS. We need to clean these up. We need to remove this Windows Tizen and Mac Catalyst because we are building mobile app only. All right, so we have info.plist, and this is the version where I don't know how to change it. So what we'll do instead, we will right click on it and we will try to see if we can open it using some other way. Open with, oh, we are not setting it directly. Let's try excluding this first. Exclude from project, show it, and then if I double click, then also it will open inside this only. Okay, let's open it in Notepad. Because here I have not done it. Maybe there should be something from here also by which we can add URL import, export, document type, application. Do let me know in the comment if you guys know how to add uh, those permission related stuff in here. Because here I can't see anything. Alright, let's include it back and let's try to open this thing in Notepad. I have opened this in Notepad so we can see all these things. Now here only at the very end, after this setting, we are going to add that key and all, whatever we copied from there from official Microsoft Docs. I'm saving it and now we should be good. Alright, so save everything, close all those files and now we are good here. We have selecting the photo option. We have remove photo option. Cool. Let's try to run this app. Alright, app is here. Let's try. Get started. And log in again. temp1@gmail.com password. After this, I'm going to work on that. I write something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After this, we'll work on that initializing the auth service. Let's go to the add new. So here we can say add photo and now we can see this. If we'll cancel, nothing will happen. Okay. Now let's try pick from device. We have this option. You can simply say images, screenshots, select some image, any image, same this one, and we can see this now. You see, came here 50-50, and then this one, and now the text is changed to change photo. If I press change photo, same thing should happen. If I cancel, nothing will happen. And this thing delete, if I press on this one, now that got removed from here, and the button name is again add photo. That means all that those things are working. Now let's try camera. So add photo, capture photo, and it is asking us for permissions. Allow, and we have this now. Let's take this, capture it. We have captured it, and now we have option to cancel this photo and choose this photo. So let's select, and it came back, and we can see this photo. Right, so that means capturing photo from camera is also working. Now we have this change photo. We can click on change photo. It will again ask us for this thing. We can remove this photo, and for changing the photo, let's again try to pick from device. Let's select something, and it is working. All right, and let's add something here. If we do post, going to save the post, so we have that message. Cool. Let's now work on the posting this image, sending this photo to the API. All right. Now for this, we will check our API. APIs I post API. So we need post API. Inside this, we have save post async method. But now I just realized we can't do this because with this one, we want to send one photo. So this should not be directly like this. We need to have stream part here. So we'll say first thing we will use multi-part. Then there we are going to have some challenge to pass this information. So with when we pass some file, and with that file if we want to send other stuff, then it is a bit challenging. So I'll go with the easier path. What we can do here, we can directly send this. So we'll use send this. First thing we need to send the file. For this we are going to use stream part. This is photo, and after that this information, what additional data we want to send, that we want to send in the serialized JSON format, serialized string format. So we'll say string and we'll say serialized save post DTO, something like this. Now this is nullable post. Alright, so we are going to use this now. Now when we are sending this thing like this, we will not be able to get these values the way we are getting in our API. We need to change the API part as well to handle this thing. Let's go to API and handle this thing, then we'll come back to this. So in API we have endpoint where we have posts endpoint. There we have this save endpoint. I'm going to make a copy of this. Now inside this, for this kind of scenarios, we can actually get our HTTP context injected in, and then we can get the information. So now what I'll do, I'll make it full body, not the expression body. Here from this HTTP context we can set, oh, not HTTP context, HTTP request actually. We have this form, and from form we can get the values using the direct names. But for this, what I am going to do, instead of using this thing, now we know we are passing one stream part photo that is going to be iForm file actually in ASP.NET Core API side. So we'll say iForm file photo, and this is going to be nullable. Then we are also getting the serialized save data. So this also we can get the string, this serialized save data. For this one, we need to tell it that we want this from form. We'll say from form, and let's add this on both of these. We are getting these two information from the form. So we are asking ASP.NET Core model binder or whatever we call it in minimal API. We want these parameters to be binded from form. All right. Then here we can simply say save post DTO, save post DTO, DTO equals, we will simply deserialize this. Okay, so we'll say JSON serializer dot deserialize save post DTO and this one. Okay, but before that, if we want to have some additional checks, those we can say here. So we can check if string dot is null or white space serialize post DTO. We can simply return results dot bad request. We can pass. We can say missing information or missing data. If that is not the case, now we know that we will have the data in serialized post DTO. So we have this DTO. Now what we can do in DTO.file, what was the name? DTO.photo, right? DTO.photo equals this photo. We can directly save this, set this like this, because in save post DTO we have a photo property which we can directly assign it from this photo. And now our service will work same as it was working. It has DTO, and on the basis of it will simply save all this, saving the photo or what all the operations it will do. And then we are going to return it like this. All right, save it. Let's go back to our API. Now we need to use this one. Okay. All right, let's go to our view model. Let's remove this await return this thing because we don't need this thing now. Now we need to create our stream part, but that should only be here when we have this photo path not null. Okay, so here we'll say if string dot is null or white space photo path, when this is not is null or white space, that means we have photo selected. Now we need to move this photo to the API. Okay. For this, what we can do, first we need to get access to this file. Right now we just have a path. Okay. So first we need to have this file stream. Here we can say file dot open read, and we'll say photo path. Open it. Then we'll convert it to stream part. So stream part. So we can say photo stream part, photo stream part, right? Yes. From Refit, using Refit. Photo stream part equals new stream part. Inside this, we can provide stream value and file name. File stream we have, then we need to provide file name as well. So we'll get the file name from this path.get file name, this photo path. So we will get file name from here, that we can provide here file name. And now we have our photo stream part ready. Okay. Then now we'll create our post saved DTU, but we need to use that the serialized string data format. Have this, so we'll say var serialize save post data equals new save post DTU. Now in here we have content, we have is existing photo removed. For this we don't know anything yet. We will work on it once we are working on edit post functionality. For now we can skip this. Same with photo ID, and this photo we are cannot pass from here. So for now we are good with this single property only, but we need to serialize it. Let's have, because this is direct thing, so we can do this in line, in one line basically. JSON serializer JSON serializer from system.text.json, then serialize, and let's provide this. Now we have serialized post date. Here we can simply call our API. This will say await. Now we need to inject iPost API. Let's go to the constructor. We have not defined any constructor, so let's define it. We'll say iPost API, post API, and we can have private read only iPost API, posts API. Here we can say underscore post API equals this posts API. Then we can simply call this underscore post API dot save post async, and we can provide our photo stream part. Now because we are having it inside this app if case, so let's have it outside of this, but we'll have it nullable because it can be null. You can simply say photo stream part, remove this var from here, then we can add this photo stream part, and then serialize data. So we have this serialized data. It is going to give us an API result. What did I do? Yes. So let's store the result. So we'll say var result equals this. Then we can do the same thing. If result dot its success is not true, that means there is some error. We can simply say error alert, show error alert async, and we can say result dot message, what was the result dot error, and simply return from. If that is not the case, that means we saved the post. So we'll say await post async, we'll say post saved, then we are going to reset the data here, content null, photo path we need it to empty string. After that we want user to go back. So for going back, we can say shell dot current dot go to async. Then we can say dot dot. Oh wait, and instead of this, let's do this. We'll say navigate async, navigate async, and just provide dot dot as a URL. Or maybe let's do this. In our base view model, let's create one more method here. We'll say navigate back async like this. And here we will not get any URL because we know the URL we are going to get is dot dot, which is for going back. Okay. So here we are using direct same thing. So we can call this navigate async method from here with dot dot. We'll say navigate async with dot dot. Okay. Await and like this. Now here we can simply say await navigate back async. That's all. Null complaining about, we can have just empty string for this as well. So this is fine. Null will also work. Cool. So save post async method should work now. We'll see. We're seeing if we are missing anything here now or everything is fine. Looks like we are good. Save everything. Let's try to run it. We changed something in API, right? So we need to run the API as well. API debug, start without debugging so that it builds the API project for that modified endpoint. Okay. Yeah. Right. Now we are good. Let's run our app. Something is not right. So the device is disconnected. Let me try to connect it again. And then I'm going to run it. We are here. Go to the create post page and we have some error. It is saying URL API post ID comments has parameter post ID but no method parameter matches. What did we do? This is for API post ID comments. I post API post ID. Okay, this is missing from here. So let's add this GUID post ID and let's quickly verify others as well if we have everything whatever it needs. This post ID, we have post ID here, post ID, then we have everywhere. All right, it should work fine now. Run. I log in. We are here. Go to the page. We are good. Add photo. Pick from device. Pick any photo. What's this? Okay, let's add some test content. All right, and let's post. And it is saying login expired. Go to login page. That means token is not there, but it should be. Or maybe something else happened. Let's see. Let's see if we can get the API logs. So from API side, yeah, there is no error on API side. Let's say no, keep me here only. Post, let's try to put a breakpoint. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. And let's try again. Post. We are here. Disable hot reload. We are good. We have photo path with all this. And we have serialized data with default post ID, test content, photo null, existing photo removed false. Alright, for this one, let's try to go to the Refit settings. So MAUI program, here we have this section, right? Let's put a breakpoint here. Continue. And it didn't came here. Why it did not came here? Maybe we'll try to put a breakpoint here to see if we have this token or not. Enter, put a breakpoint here. Let's run it. We have auth service, and auth service is registered as singleton, and on login we are setting this. Everything seems fine. And I post API, we have this headers, authorization, bearer, yes, spelling also looks correct. All right, let's see what is happening. Get started. Okay, we came here, auth service. If we try to check, we have token, and we have this information. User photo URL is this, issuer is this, name identifier, name, email address, and expire, everything we have. Continue, add photo, pick from device, select anyone, post. We are here. Let's put a breakpoint here. Continue. We came here. This time we see we have this token. Yeah. Continue. Again, something is not right. Let's do this. I'm going to stop it. We are going to debug the API as well. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select choose multiple startup projects, properties, right click on the solution, go to properties, multiple startup projects, social media MAUI, start, debug target, my physical device, API, start, debug target, HTTPS. Let's rename this profile, create, duplicate, delete, rename. So here we'll say a physical device plus API. This, you don't need to change this, but I'm using multiple profiles sometimes, so that's why I did this. Apply. Okay. Now we have both of these selected, so we can put breakpoint in API side as well. Start. Let's see what is happening API side. Something is not right there because we passed the token. It should have went to their API. I'll wait both of these to run. So API is here and our mobile app is also here. See, login. Okay, go to this create page. We are here, continue, add photo, pick from device, select, and let's go to the API side and we'll see API endpoint, endpoints, posts endpoint. Let's try to put a breakpoint here and post happened. Oh, breakpoint. Continue, token we have, continue, and again it didn't make to the API. Let's see if we can see something. No error at all. What else it could be? Post endpoints. Yes, everything seems fine. Okay, let's try before these endpoints, or maybe before everything. Let me try to use a temporary middleware here. Okay, so we'll say HTTP context next. I'm just trying to check what is happening here. Why can't we get the thing? So next, and let's see. We'll say await next to pass it through. And here we'll try to access. We'll say HTTP context dot request dot headers dot try get value. We'll try to get value of authorization header here. Authorization outward value, or just we can have it like this only. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here and let's try to run this again. So you can maybe skip the video here if you don't want me to debug all this. I'm debugging it, so if someone wants to see something, then we'll be able to. I will drop the timestamps for you. Here it is. It came here. What is the request? Is Swagger, the default starting request. We are good. We just need to debug that post request, so we'll do that. Temp1 password login. It will again come this time also we should not have anything in headers, that this authorization in headers. Request is API auth login. We'll continue, add, continue, add photo, pick from device, select any photo, post from UI. We have this token here. Yes, continue. Now we'll see what we have in value. In value we have the token. Then what is happening here? Something is not right. Okay, if you see, we have this token here, but somehow the request is not going through. Continue. And same login expired. Let's see if we can see something in this output window here. There is no error there. Do let me in the comment if you guys know what is happening here, why it is saying like this. One more thing we can try. Let's see if we can get any other information in this make API call, in this catch, or in this catch. It is coming to this catch only, right? Here. We'll see if we can find any other information. So, first thing what I'll do, I'll simply disable all the breakpoints and just put this breakpoint here. And let's try that again. So, no, keep me here only. And let's post. It came. Let's see what information we can get in EX. We just have this only, nothing else. Okay, content blank, content headers, system request URI. EX dot status code, content headers, has content headers, reason phrase unauthorized, API post save, dev tunnels, all these things. We are doing everything right. Then why it is happening? System exception 401 data. Okay, I'll try finding it out. Let me try to debug further. So I tried to debug, could not find anything, but then I set this validate audience to false, which, because this is a boolean property, it should have been false by default, but it wasn't considering it. Maybe I was not aware of this thing, so we set validate audience to false specifically. So now, because we our client is mobile app, so there is no audience, but setting it false, it worked, and now the request came through here, and we have a different exception which we can solve easily. So here, if you say, it says endpoint HTTP post API post save contains anti-forgery metadata, but a middleware was not found that supports anti-forgery. So how this works? Because for this specific endpoint, where is post endpoint, we are using from form. That means we are using a form, and for form, to make it secure, to uh, this ASP.NET Core API, it supports, it asks for anti-forgery. If we are creating the form, it's our responsibility to add the anti-forgery token to it. So what we can do here, in this case, we can simply disable anti-forgery check for this specific endpoint. So here we can simply say disable anti-forgery for now. And same thing we can do on adding a photo and removing, adding a photo and changing the user photo, right? So in auth endpoints as well, we have this add photo. So here also we'll do same thing. And then in user endpoints where we have changed photo, because these are the all endpoints where we want data to be fetched from form. We are sending the request as that multi-part form data. All right. So with this, it should work the way we are expecting it to work. Let's start. Let's see. No such host. Internet is not working. Let me fix it. Let me restart. Okay, so I'm here. Let's try to post it. And post saved. We are back. That means this is working. Alright. I had to explicitly set validate audience to false. And then on these iPhone file related endpoints, I have disabled the anti-forgery check. Alright. So we are good with creating a new post as well. Now we can work on this home screen, right? We can fetch the data on this home screen and make uh, yeah, we'll work on home screen.